What's going on, guys? Boomer, Beer League Bum Hockey, aka Justin, and I'm here to do my first video in a while. It's really good to be back. Really sorry I haven't posted any hockey reviews. I've been really wanting to get this channel started. I just didn't have a chance. But now that we're back playing and it looks like we're all full steam ahead, I purchased a lot of new gear and we're going to rock it. So first thing on the docket is the Bauer hyperlite stick. And it was interesting to see all the people on social media getting the hype box. I wish I was an influencer and got something like that. And really providing no information on the stick. Everybody was just like, yeah, it's amazing, shoots great, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, there's no information on what the stick does, what it does well, what it does poor, how does it compare to the Flylight, etc. So I picked it up. I spent the $360 Canadian, and I'm going to tell you what I think of the actual stick. So stick around, we're going to hit it up. I played my first drop-in early with the hyperlite and just worked on getting the release down, how it felt in the hands, stick handling, etc. Got a couple goals in the drop-in, little backhand, little one-timer here. It felt great, but I just really wasn't seeing anything different from the Flylight is all. Once I got into a game situation on these two plays here, I opened it up a little bit better with a larger slap shot and snapshot. I was a little more impressed with the power that I got out of it, but still, it's not quite there in terms of the FT3 Pro and previous sticks I've used before. It's just an upgraded Flylight. Same exact play and shot coming up here. The goalie was really not happy with me, but I did like the two shots that I had with it here. Alrighty, so hyperlite stick. I'll throw a couple awesome goals with crappy camera quality on there for you with the hyperlite. I did get a lot of games in with this before I decided to do a review. And when I picked it up, it was my first kind of new stick in a while compared to some of the old stuff I was using, like the Nexus Geo. I did a review on that. FT3 Pro, I had that for a while. So it was nice to just pick up something new and give it a go. I did score a lot of goals. I felt that I was using the stick well. It was working for me, but the funny thing is once I started comparing it to new sticks, picked up an AS3 Pro, FT4 Pro, and a few things like that, a new True, I realized just how far CCM and a few other brands have come, and the hyperlite and Bauer just don't really want to push the limits. And there's pros and cons to that. So when I first picked this up, I was like, you know what, this is really hard to load. For a low kick stick with the XE taper, I was like, interesting, this should load better. I used an 85 flex P28, and I was not impressed with the loading considering it was a mid kick or a low kick stick. And when you pick up like an FT4 Pro, a Ripcore, etc., it just loads easier. So it took me a bit to get used to that, and once I did, my shot started coming off. But the thing that I noticed is that because it's harder to load, it plays stiffer. I was not getting the same power that I would with a different brand. Or the Nexus Geo, for example, I did a video on that. So my initial thoughts on the Flylight, or the hyperlite, compared to the Flylight, are it's slightly lighter, for sure. It is slightly lighter, and that is where Bauer decided to name it hyperlite and provide some of the actual benefits that come for a new stick. And the blade is stiffer, for sure. But overall, the stick is not really any better than the Flylight in terms of what it's bringing to the table. And it's a little bit disappointing from Bauer's perspective because CCM continues to push the limits of their sticks and constantly bring something new to the market. Some people think it's too fast, but me personally, I love just trying the new sticks. And Bauer just can't seem to take 2 years and bring something different. So the Flylight comes with the same XE taper technology, a slightly stiffer, maybe more pingy blade, same kick point, and about 10 grams lighter. And what does that do for you? Absolutely nothing. It literally feels like a repaint of the Flylight. You just happen to get a different, slightly heavier version. Maybe the blade's a max height or something like that. And that's a little bit disappointing. Bauer puts everything on a 2-year cycle lately, and they're just not pushing the R&D. this stick looks amazing. You pick it up and you're like, wow, this is going to be a real sweet twig. And then when you shoot with it, you're like, is this a flylight? Is this the same tech that I was using 2-3 years ago? That's what it feels like. So from my perspective, my ratings on this stick are unfortunately going to be a little bit lower. You'll see those on the end of the video. And the best pros for this stick, I'll tell you right now, I've used it for about 3 months, is durability. Because Bauer doesn't push the limits of their performance, like say CCM does, which has its own durability challenges, the hyperlite is very durable. I just take bomb after bomb, slap shot, snapshot, wrist shot. I shoot 40 times a game, and this thing's holding up. And that's because it doesn't have the same performance, and that's just the way it goes with this type of stick. I noticed that the Bauer offerings lately are more durable than their counterparts, Warrior, CCM, True, but it's because they don't have the same performance level. So my recommendation, if you want a top-end stick and you like a low kick, but you also don't want to spend $360 every 3 months, then the hyperlite is the way to go, because it's going to last you, it's going to still shoot fine, and most people maybe that don't change their sticks as often as I do are not going to notice the difference between a CCM, the hyperlite, and other offerings out there. So definitely pick this up if you like durable and you still want a well-performing stick, but just don't expect a huge jump in performance from the flylight. You're basically just getting a slightly updated version of that, and that's okay. But for me, I'm testing gear. I want to test it out. I want to see the performance. I was really hoping for more out of Bauer, but that's okay. Maybe the next one, the super flight, high kick, who knows, will be better. But let's see, Bauer. Let's see what you bring to the table. My ratings are coming up. Other than that, have a good one.